This music's actually pretty rad.
The groceries.
Jawsbreakers season finale. Hey everybody, welcome to Jawsbreakers, the scary funny shark show where we watch usually pretty bad horror movies, and record a companion podcast to go along with them. And this is that companion podcast. My name is Bret. I am a seasoned podcast professional. Oh man, I've put out so many of these. Help me. And also joining me is my sister Blister from the same mister, allegedly, is my sister Jasmine.
Or AKA Meteor Doll.
Sure. Jasmine, it's been a week. We watched a movie on Twitch.
Hey, what about my subtitle? What am I? You're the professional. What am I, the professional co-host?
You're the part owner of this show's IP, which means I won't do it without you if you quit.
That's good. Or you can just get Savannah to play me.
You also get partial creative control, I guess. I don't know what that would be called. Like, you don't get sole creative control because I also get a say, but you are included in the decisions, I guess. What is that? What do you, producer, maybe? Are you a producer? I don't know.
I don't know. Co-creator?
Nobody knows who you are. Co-creator? Yeah, there you go. Does imply like I came up with it first and then you jumped on board, or does it imply that we both share creation equally?
We both came up with it while we both did that together.
Technically, I would say you're the show creator, because it was your idea to do a podcast. I don't know whose idea it was to do it on Twitch, to watch the movies on Twitch.
That was probably you, but it was my main idea to do a shark podcast.
Right, and then I think you might be right, because I think I wanted to include like a visual element, like via watch parties, and it kind of, thanks to Twitch, we kind of were able to do that.
And you kind of were like all up in my grill.
I didn't want
to do this podcast. We're gonna do this podcast. We're gonna do this podcast. I was like, okay.
I didn't. Well, you wanted to do it, so I was making it happen, and I didn't want to do just another horror movie podcast because there's a million of them, and we need a hook, something that sets us apart from the rest of the pack, and watching the movies with our community on Twitch was a way to do it. So there you go. And here we are.
Thank you to our community on Twitch.
Thank you to our communities on Twitch.
And on podcasts.
And the proud, the Marines, the biologists, the marine biologists that listen to the show.
Cats.
So yeah, so we watch a movie on Twitch, and then we record a podcast where we talk about the things that go in the movie. We talk about the movie's facts and trivia and stats and things about the movie itself. We'll also talk about the plot, go through the movie as a whole, and or at least a brief overview. And we'll even talk about like maybe some sciencey stuff if it comes up. And generally speaking, we do a little trivia section towards the end, where one of us will have to answer questions that pertain to the movie in some way or form. And then we give it our final shark rating and then add it to the list of shark movies and where it falls therein. So
if you want to know about that, stay tuned.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to touch up on it real fast. This is the season finale, which means we're taking a quick break because it is a lot of work to watch a fucking movie. No, it's just we have to make a plan to be your place usually every other Saturday, and then also plan to put out a podcast. It's very steady work, and it'll be nice to.
Breaker does more work than I do, but I do contribute.
Yeah, maybe next season you'll come to my house once or twice.
I don't know.
But regardless, like if I want to go, I don't live with a significant other, so if I want to go out with someone, I can be like, oh no, I gotta watch a movie for a podcast with my sister tonight. It nerd alert, but it's cool.
It's fine. Everything is fine because we have a very good sibling relationship.
Sure, and we're gonna take a break. The break is gonna be we don't know exactly how long. It won't be too long.
Just anticipate.
But stay subscribed to the stream to the stream. Stay subscribed to the podcast because here in about, I don't know, a couple weeks, we'll come out with a little mini-sode that reacts to the trailer for the first movie we're going to watch when we come back, and we'll announce exactly what day it is that we come back. So definitely within the next month or two, we'll be back. And
we still have some things going on.
And definitely within a few weeks, we'll have that little mini-sode for season 2. And then, yeah, we got some other stuff in the works. There's
in the works, y'all.
In the works, like new merch. Jasmine, speaking of the movie that we watched, Ouija Shark, you designed a Ouija shirt, and it's in the shop right now. And I'm working on our second shirt, which hopefully by the time this comes out, it won't be ready. But check the link in the description. It'll be there within.
And if you don't want to buy a shirt, we got mugs and stickers.
Yeah, so it's TeePublic. We don't get a whole lot off the top of that, but it's stuff's made to order. Like you can get stickers, mugs, whatever you want. Clock faces, I think, is something on there. Phone cases for phones that you probably don't have. Pillows, you name it, they can make it. Stickers are pretty high quality. I bought the stickers. But yeah, so there's all that stuff. But Jasmine, we watched Ouija Shark.
We sure did.
This is your realm. You usually do the stats and the take and take us through the stuff of the movie. And
me and my one sheet of paper with all the info for you.
Fantastic. Go do that thing
already. Let's go already. Okay. Ouija Shark was released in It was released in May 26, 2020. So it's actually a brand new movie that came out. It got 43% Rotten Tomatoes and a whopping 1.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
I know it's kind of late for this, but does Rotten Tomatoes, is 47% good or bad?
Bad.
So the higher the tomatoes, the worse, or the lower the tomatoes, the worst? Because I want less rotten food.
Maybe, no. Okay, so yeah, you're right. So 84 is... I mean, yes?
Because I don't want rotten food. I would think less rotten food is better. So if it was 47%, that's more than half good.
What is rotten?
Thanks. While you look that up, I'm going to thank the people that showed up to watch the movie with us. Thelonious Milk, Auntie Shark, Mom Shark, Beat Crowder 304. Hold on! IX Pennywise. I'm like in the middle of thanking the people that watched with us, and you want to interrupt. Bias Song, Bing Cortana, which might be a bot, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Il Delara, Mr. Creeper 905, Rarison, Upturns, I think is also a bot. Commander Root, I think is also a bot. And then Severin M.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for showing up. Jasmine, do you have something you want to say now?
Yeah, you the best around. No one's going to get you down. Also, the lower the score, the bad.
Very good.
It is.
Okay.
So 43% is not good.
Okay.
And obviously 1.7 on IMDb isn't good either. And I couldn't find a Google percentage. So I have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was an hour and 11 minutes, so it was like a really short movie, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was fine. It flew by.
Mm-hmm. And the budget was only $216.
I believe it. They made a shark model out of, like, a shark toy out of clay, probably Sculpey or something, baked it, and then painted it, and then...
Well, actually, it took $200 to make that shark out of their $216 budget. So
all the actors work for free.
So yeah, basically.
So the
shark
$16
made
is
us.
probably the gas that they took to get to the park, or like,
Maybe.
or it was like a $15 filming permit on the park that they filmed at, plus $1 for parking.
And they made around $300. That's it.
I mean, we watched it. So does that get them something off of Twitch or Amazon for watching it?
I have no idea.
Look, say what you will, their movies on Amazon Prime, like mic drop, right? Exactly.
True, but there are a lot of random movies on Amazon Prime.
So they made a movie. I will give them props that they made a movie. This is a movie.
They did.
It's clearly very much like, hey, I want to make a movie. I want to get all my friends and family to be in it. Acting level. The effects were, like we said, like that toy shark that they made. They just made it translucent and put smokiness around it. Yeah, I don't know.
And then you got the director. And I don't know why I read it this way, but it's Brett Kelly as
Reddit.
Scott
I don't like Reddit.
Brett Kelly as Scott.
You said I'm not sure
Patrick?
I read it this. Never mind. I'm not gonna explain the joke.
But apparently it's either Brett Kelly or Scott Patrick. They're one and the same person or whatever. He also did a movie called She-Rex.
Did you say they're the same person?
Because I looked it up and they were like, in some places it says Scott Patrick, and other places say Brett Kelly, and then in other places it says Brett Kelly as Scott Patrick, and I'm like, who's the director?
So you don't know who made the movie. It
was those two names that came up on every site, so I am not sure, but that person also did Jurassic Shark, which is on our list.
I'm sure it says in the credits.
Yeah,
like
but I don't remember the credits. But Jurassic Shark, Brett, I'm sure that's on our list. And Raiders of the Lost Shark, as I'm going to assume is also on our list. So he's got 2 more shark movies that we have to go through.
Oh man, this movie was not good. I mean, it's not. No, I don't think anything about this movie would make you think it could be good. Like Planet of the Sharks could be like, this movie might be good, and then it's not good. This movie, no point that I think it was going to be good.
But despite that, I actually like this movie. Like, I would watch it again.
I like this movie from the standpoint that it's a movie. I don't want to be too mean because I don't want to shit on these people, because there's a few definite positives to this movie that I really like. The things that I'll nitpick, I can't give them too much shit for, honestly, because would I be a better actor? Probably not. Like, if I got my friends and family to be in a movie, would they be better actors? Most certainly not. So, I mean, I give them props for that. Like, I
love the silliness of this movie.
It's definitely silly. Like, can we just start going over the story already?
Do you want me to give you the cast real quick, or the main cast anyways?
Sure, and I'll interrupt you midway through as you're trying to get your thoughts out.
Okie dokie. We got Steph Goodwin as Jill, Zoe Town as Jen, Robin Hodge as Kim, Cena Roman as Donna, and Amy Osborne as Tiffany. And then Brett's favorite actor in this whole place, John Migliore, which is the dad.
I don't recall saying he was my favorite in the slightest.
Who's your favorite in the movie then?
The blonde that went to walk for the groceries.
Why?
Well, I'm sure we'll get to that. So I will notice that Twitch does this thing where it like skips the first couple minutes for some reason, and we don't know why. We can't get it to stop doing that. But when the movie starts, the ladies are, it's unclear if they're at a bed and breakfast or if it's just at one of their own homes or they're on like vacation somewhere. Yeah. And they're just having a nice time playing around in a pool, blah, blah, blah. There is
washing a car.
No, I'm getting to that. That is completely separate. Ooh, the pod dog appears.
One of the pod dogs
One appears. Of the pod dogs. So that's completely separate to the fact there's like 4 main ladies, and they're having just a nice time partying together around the pool in the backyard of this house. And I, I will note, like, during the dialogue, you can hear the air conditioner for the house running in the background. It's
it
like
seems like they use like a cell phone or something to like record.
Whatever they use, they didn't use like a boom mic. They definitely didn't shut off like the ambient sounds around them when they recorded. The audio was kind of rough, I'll be honest. Like, if there's one thing that I wish this movie had, would be better audio.
Minus the amazing song that they made for this.
We'll get to that. Why do you keep jumping the shark? You keep jumping all over the place.
That's
like, we
who I
can't go in
am.
chronological order. Like, the show makes no
Nope.
sense. And then separate to the four main ladies, there is two other characters, a man and a woman, who are washing a car and just washing a car as though they've never washed a car or seen anyone ever wash a car and don't know what water or soap is.
They try to do like this sexy scene where they're like flirting with each other and like,
are they flirting?
We're
like
hot. Well, they're like laughing, like,
yeah, they're like fake laughing. It's like they're laughing at a hysterical joke that nobody heard, but it's just like the greatest joke in the world.
And the laughing's not even like acted, like the sound of them laughing isn't even in it. It's literally just them washing.
Yeah, it's done like a car wash montage minus the montage. And Jasmine, real quick, this is for the YouTube watchers. Jasmine, we'll do our fake laugh, fake hysterical silent laughter. You ready? Here we go. We're washing the car. Okay, end scene. So yeah, the thing about this is like they never establish the relationships between these two characters, the car wash characters, with the other four ladies. If they did, it's part of the first couple minutes that we missed.
Separate.
They must have introduced them together as part of the first like 5 to 10 minutes that Twitch skips.
But there's no way for us to know.
Well, it has to, because later in the movie, when the main character is trying to flee, that girl's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, but the guy isn't even in, like, he's gone. He isn't even in the movie
We
anymore.
never see him again, ever.
He just disappears. He's in the scene, and then he's like, gone.
Yeah, Bargain Bin Tom Green is gone. It's just an outrageous series of events, but of course... And the main girl, do you remember her name?
It's either Jill, Jen, Kim, Donna, or Tiffany.
Oh gosh, you're terrible. You're gonna make me look it up. Why don't you say
They
something?
didn't give me pictures of the cast, so I couldn't put who was who. Like, there's not a whole lot of information about this movie. I did my best that I could.
What is that?
Because no one really talks about this movie.
Are you sliding something across the desk? What is happening?
What?
Zoe Town or Jen is the one that I liked in the woods. Jasmine.
Yes.
You can say stuff while I.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't.
Do it.
I don't know which.
You don't know.
Character would be my favorite. Probably the dad. The dad's my favorite, I think, because it's just so absurd. Like, he's like the best dad in the world, apparently. Because what kind of dad does that stuff? Your family is actually, we're all in the occult, or your ancestors were in a cult. Don't go doing cult stuff.
Again, you're jumping ahead. So the main character has a dream. Well, not a dream. She's like dozing off, like falling asleep, like she's asleep. But I guess she has a memory in her dream where she remembers how she was swimming in the ocean, and the mystical Ouija board finds its way to her.
Yeah, that was weird. It didn't even tell us if it was a dream. It seemed like a dream, but it wasn't a dream because magically she had the Ouija board. They're like, let's play a game. And she's like, oh, I have the perfect thing. But it doesn't tell us anything. Maybe it did in like the first couple minutes, but...
So Steph Goodwin aka Jill, is the main character. That's her
Okay.
name. So I want to say the Ouija board, that's another nitpick of mine, is like this thing was out at sea, seemingly. Like it doesn't look beat up at all. It looks like a plank of perfect cedar that someone with a burning toolkit burned, but they didn't like age it or weather it or beat it up any.
Yeah.
It just looked too. It looked like something they went and bought out of Target, but I know you couldn't buy that at Target.
It did not look spooky.
So of course she mentions to her friends we should go around the Ouija board and it'll be
Play a
fun.
game.
They mistakenly summon
Broad
a
daylight.
ghost shark.
This is broad daylight. They don't even get in like a spooky place. They're just in the backyard sitting in the grass. Yeah,
their eyes are closed when the shark manifests the first time in the middle of the Ouija board, and it's like, no, like what was that? Naturally, the shark's gonna kill some teens in the park. Whose interactions are so wooden, and I don't know, like the moment like trouble reared its ugly head, the guy ran and just left the girl behind.
Yeah, but then she was like, "Oh, great, it's after him."
Yeah, I also want to say like they're like I'm supposed to be like a cute couple in the woods, like on a hike.
Like they just ran. It was random people.
The girl like is sending him signals like fucking crazy. Like she even takes her shirt off.
Oh yeah, it was.
And he like acts like he has no idea. Yeah, so they both get eaten rather unceremoniously.
And they just kind of get poof. Like they just become poof. There's no blood or gore for those two.
I think there was a little bit of blood, but it's not like it wasn't.
The first guy just went poof. I'm telling you, the first guy just went poof. Second girl maybe had a little bit of blood, and then the next scene was
the friend high. She's high.
Yes, it's like
smoking.
The
she's smoking some weed on the edge of the pool with like her legs dangling.
Freaking out.
Oh no, she's like. First of all, she's smoking some weed, and she's like banging her head and rocking,
like
out
listening to music.
Arms.
She had the headphones in.
She had no head. There were no headphones.
Did she
in
not?
No, there was nothing. There was no headphones. She was jamming out to music that was not there. And then she's like, "Whoa, you don't see that every day." Yeah. And the giant ghost shark is just floating
on top of the pool,
on top of like above the water, but it's also like not moving. If it's moving any, like the jaw's moving up and down.
Gets closer to her, and she's like, "You want some?"
Yeah, and
I was wondering if there would be like a funny scene, like in one of the scary movies, where Ghostface like they're like, "You want some?" and Ghostface smokes with them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was thinking maybe that there would be like a scene like that. Unfortunately there wasn't. But he just killed her. I don't know if was there blood for this one? I don't think there was.
There was at some point, like there occasionally. But
so she goes missing, and she's like the first one who wakes up, and then everybody else gets up and
right.
Like, set at a coffee table.
So two of the friends are sitting there, like they're drinking coffee, and Jill comes out and is like, "Have you seen my Ouija board?" And they're like, apparently they just left it in the grass overnight.
And she calls her dad, and she's like, "Dad, I was having really bad dreams about this Ouija board. My daughter, you shouldn't really be messing into those things, but I'll take a look at it and I'll see what I can find."
Real quick, their conversation sounded like what like some really disgusting porn sounds like before it starts. Like, "Oh, stepdaughter, your actions are tied to the code. Oh, stepfather, correct. Oh no, I've been bad. Don't punish me. Oh no, I dropped this thing. Let me bend over, pick it up. Now I'm stuck."
What?
Anyway, moving on.
That didn't happen. But it was weird. He was like, "Yeah, I'll look into it." And like, you have this whole scene where he's got like a bunch of shark pictures out, and he's on his computer, and then like he decides he's gonna do tarot cards. It's like, okay, Dad. Anyways, the girls decide they want breakfast.
She accuses the other two of stealing her Ouija board. Like, what the fuck do they want to do with the fucking Ouija board? And they're like,
they didn't like it to begin with.
Yeah,
so.
They're like, maybe like Jill's kind of fucking toxic in this scene. They're like, maybe the other girl took it.
Is.
Like, she's like, Jill's really upset that this Ouija board is missing. This shitty Ouija board that nobody wanted to play in the first place is missing.
Mhm.
And then the blonde friend, the one that I said I liked, what was her name again, Jasmine? Zoe Town. She's like, well, there is a grocery store a few miles back. I'll go get food so that I can make food. She grabs a book bag and starts walking. She's walking miles back to
mind you, they did a whole scene where they were washing a car. So they had a car.
Someone has a car and they have some relationship to at least one of the people that has the car. So it's very confusing. But just I want to point out, she's a good friend. She's walking miles to go to the grocery store to pick up groceries and then walk miles back so that she can make the food that she offered to make. Like, she's a better friend than all of them put together. It's like, she's awesome. That's why she's my favorite character. And that's why I'm sad she died. But if you remember, she's in the park running from the shark and she goes, "It must want the groceries." And she throws the groceries and gets eaten. That was pretty funny.
And we're missing a little bit of scenes where there was like a police officer.
There's a police officer who has like
my daughter's only been missing like 2 hours.
Who's like a drunk? He's like got a drunk deputy who's his brother-in-law for some reason.
Brother-in-law
He's
died.
like, I know you're my brother-in-law, but you know, just unnecessary setup. Like, they couldn't just be two cops that work for the same city. They had to be brother-in-laws. And I want to say the drunk brother-in-law had a fucking ponytail wrapped up in his head too, like,
and he was in a bar drinking, like, why do I come here again? She's like, to look at my boobs or something.
Yeah,
he ended up trying to like pee in a hallway and the shark killed him.
Real quick, I have the clip for when Jen was killed in the woods, if we want to listen to it real quick.
Sure, if you want.
I want.
Again, I want to say she's a good friend.
She's running from the shark with a bag of groceries. It sounds like a lion.
Yep.
This music's actually pretty rad.
He wants the groceries.
She heaves the groceries, and she's eaten very soon after that. But yeah, finally we get to the part with the music. The music's rad as the Ghost Sharks theme is the Ouija Sharks theme is rad as hell. That is a low-key jam. That is awesome. I loved it.
It's very, very good. They played at the very end of the movie too, and there's actual like Ouija Shark.
Yeah.
Like it's actual lyrics for the movie. So that was pretty cool.
It's at this point where Jill
and Donna?
No, she meets with the occult man. The hooded man.
The one that's like in her dreams, kind of. She's like,
the
who are
hooded
you?
man who was just in the hallway of her home, and he talks with an echo, like he's very echoey sounding. And I don't know what he does or whatever, but
it wasn't in her home. We met him outside because
something. I don't know.
But he was like, I released the shark, and there's a way to get the shark back on the board, and blah blah blah. And
the shark apparently is repelled by the board. Like, she uses it like a shield at one point.
Yeah, and then I think we're skipping ahead because another girl dies with Jill there.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting death. She was about to like go swimming in the pool, and then they see like an arm that's like floating.
From the first friend. Yeah. So the other friend gets eaten there. Then she was running around the side of the house, and she meets up with slow-mo car wash girl, and they're like, run. So they run to the park instead of getting into the car. And the scene that they split up, like they literally, it was. I can't even explain it. Like, she just branched off of her for no reason, and then
fell, and she was like, "Leave without me.
Reason.
I'll meet you at the car."
And then died immediately.
But it's like they had plenty of time to like for Jill to assist the girl, like help her up, and they could both run together. But Jill was like, "Peace out, Girl Scout," and
It should be noted here also that the cop looking for the kids in the woods is like, it's cold here, and they had snow on the ground somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know how they made that.
I don't know.
But him and Jill find their way into a house together that's on park property with their guns. He's got a pistol, she's got a shotgun, and they have been taking shots at the ghost shark, which seem to for some reason work to keep it at bay for somehow.
But not really, because she had to use the board. But
also, like, at this point, like, the cop looks outside the window because the dad dies. The dad goes to a fortune teller.
Gypsy fortune teller.
We're not going to say gypsy because it's
that's what it said.
Jasmine, it's not an appropriate term.
That was the cast name.
I understand it's the cast person's name, but we don't need to perpetuate that. It's not an appropriate name for a group of people. You know what I mean? Okay. But anyway, it's a derogatory name for a group of people. But anyway, he goes to a fortune teller, and they try to dispel the ghost shark somehow, and instead it eats the dad. So then the cop looks out the window, like into the atmosphere where the dad is in the sky among the clouds fighting the ghost. He's like, "You can't hurt me now!" Ah!
Shield, something.
He has
looks like
Doctor Strange.
Strange powers. It looks like he has Doctor Strange powers.
And I do have that scene right here, and let's listen to it.
Good to see you.
Got to use my occult training.
My occult training? So she was in a cult. What? It's fucking Doctor Strange! Shark Leviosa Mendoza, motherfucker. Bing bong.
And the shark dies.
What happened?
I lost.
Did he win?
So yeah, he waves his arms in a circular motion, shoots Doctor Strange beams. The shark growls like a lion and shoots a pulse beam from its mouth. Then they collide in midair, and there's an explosion. And the cop says, "Did he win?" Like, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, the shark's gone. However, we're treated to an end scene where the hooded occult person with the echo voice makes a phone call on the cell phone. It's the White House, and it's clearly Trump. Like, we see Trump's orangey lips pursed and looking like a butthole. Answer the phone, and the strange occult man says, "Project." The deed is done. He says, like, the Project Ouija Shark was a success or something. And Trump's like, "Good. It's going to be huge." And he orders them to do something like Eastern Seaboard or something, like send Ouija Shark through the Eastern Seaboard. It made no sense whatsoever. And then the movie's over. And
that was literally the end of the movie. I mean, she shotgunned the Ouija board, so I don't really know how they were gonna are they just gonna mass produce Ouija? I don't think
they're not very clear, but the ghost shark was a government conspiracy perpetuated by Trump as a means to, I guess,
bash him in a type of way,
attack people along the Eastern Seaboard or some shit. But
I think they did it to kind of bash him or something like that.
So Jasmine, now's the point in the show where we need to go over some trivia here. What do you think?
Sure.
We're gonna do the trivia, and then we're gonna rank the movie away and give it our final thoughts.
I do want to say that this movie was literally only filmed in 2 places, and I tried to look for the location, but I couldn't find an exact location other than the USA, and that it was literally a single park and a suburban house. And that was legitimately it. Yeah,
someone's backyard. One more thing I want to say about this movie before we move on to trivia. I really did appreciate that it did not over-sexualize women. You had the woman in the bar, and the guy kind of sexualized her in the bar. But generally speaking, like, the women presented in the movie, I felt like
strong female leads.
Well, I don't know if they're strong because they're not exactly good. I mean, acting aside, they were strong female leads, but they were also good role models in the sense that they were
normal.
they didn't have six-pack abs, and you know what I mean? Like
they were normal,
like
normal
Hollywood.
females.
Yes. Well,
You
that's
could-
not to
you-
say they're not attractive. They were all very attractive. I'd go on a date with any single one of them.
But they were very like relatable
Especially
to
Zoe. I would walk with Zoe to go to the grocery store to pick up groceries for my friends.
Well, what Brett's trying to say is
And
they're
hope
very
that we can hold
relatable
hands.
characters.
Yeah.
You could connect to them as a regular person.
As regular people. Yeah. Like they weren't like it wasn't Jessica Alba. You know what I mean? It wasn't Michelle Rodriguez. And they also didn't like throw their bodies in our faces like some horror movies do, where they're like, here's my tits. You know, start
Or
jacking
the,
teen boys. With the exception of the car wash scene, which I understand. I think that was more of a parody of that kind of thing because it was so strange that I think they were just parodying that stuff to sort. And even then, like, she wasn't overly nude. Does that
I mean,
make
she
sense?
just had a swimsuit top on and some shorts.
Yeah. But it wasn't being like overly gratuitous.
Mm-hmm.
Like she wasn't like deep throating a popsicle while she was doing that.
It was just she wasn't rubbing her whole body on the car or anything like that.
I mean, I would have, but so Jasmine, the Ouija board's origins can be traced as far back as 1100 AD, Song Dynasty China, as a form of necromancy. It eventually made its way to the States and gained some popularity following the Civil War, eventually being named Ouija in 1890 after being patented and then marketed as a parlor game. In the movie, it's talked of as it's related to the occult, but this association did not occur until Pearl Curran popularized its use as such when was
You're
the
gonna give me
Ouija
an A, B, C, D?
when was the Ouija board begun to be associated with the occult? I'll give you an ABC, sure.
Yeah, because there's no way I'm gonna know that.
Is it A, during World War I? Is it B, during the Civil War? Is it C, during the
You can't give me the year?
I don't have the year. C, during the Desert Storm. During Desert Storm,
I'm
excuse
gonna
me.
say A.
During World War I?
Mm-hmm.
You would be correct. So
Yeah.
Curran was an alleged, I don't know if she was a medium per se, but she was someone that was allegedly sensitive to spirituality, as it were.
Communicate.
And she was the one that started doing that sort of thing. And this was happening during World War I. So sometime in there.
Got it. Oh yeah.
There is an animal called a ghost shark. It grows to about 5 feet long and can live in a depth of up to 2,600 meters in nearly all the world's oceans. However, it is not actually a shark, but instead shares a phonetic name with a legendary beast of Greek mythology. What is this ghost shark's true name?
How am I supposed to know that?
I'm supposed to know stuff about sharks.
I don't know as much as you. I'm a
I-
newbie shark person.
And I gave you a hint.
What was the hint? Ghost shark?
However, it's not actually a shark, but instead shares a phonetic name with a legendary beast of Greek
Phonetic.
mythology.
Phonetic name? Is that the hint?
Beast of Greek mythology? Is that not a hint? Is that
I
not
don't
a
know that many
massive hint?
beasts of Greek mythology.
Well, that's just disappointing. What a sheltered life you live.
I didn't take a Greek mythology class. Excuse me.
I didn't either. I just thought crazy animal hybrids were cool. Do you not want to
I have no idea.
take a guess? No, you never saw Disney's Hercules? No.
It's not that.
Disney's Hercules is based on Greek mythology and featured
No, it's
Greek
not.
beasts of
It's
myth.
not. It's not a Pegasus.
No. There's more than just a Pegasus in Greek in Disney's Hercules.
Is Kieran a thing? But I don't think it was a Kieran.
Kieran is
Kieran might
Asian
be something
mythology.
else.
That's like Japanese mythology. That's not Greek at all.
I don't know.
Like they had the Hydra, the main thing. They had Titans in Hercules, but beside the point, the correct answer is the Chimera. The chimera in Greek mythology was also a lot of these things are D&D monsters that you should know through osmosis. So the chimera is typically depicted as a three-headed beast has like a goat or ram's head, a lion's head, and a lizard or dragon head with several tails, including like a scorpion tail and bat wings. And
is that what it looks like?
It's a hodgepodge of animals. Absolutely not. The ghost shark looks like a translucent weirdo shark thing, but it is called a chimera. However, it is not spelled the same as the Greek myth chimera, which is why I said phonetically they share the same name. Moving on. Jasmine, totem animals, spirit guides, and power animal spirits are in fact a thing. They're all of various origins, respectively, and none of them are malevolent in nature or origin like the Ouija shark itself. However, power animals that are usually a part of New Age mysticism owe some, keyword some, of their roots to the idea of familiars and arguably to cultural appropriation, but that's neither here nor there. Picking and choosing things you like from other cultures and mixing them to your pleasure. Anyway, no, I'm going to get off my high horse right now. These familiars were supernatural entities that assisted someone in European folklore. The malevolent versions of these three-dimensional, smoky, animalistic entities that may cause you harm typically helped who?
Okay, I just want to say that all my questions were pertaining to the actual movie itself, and you're giving me some malarkey history lesson.
I gave you a trivia question on the Ouija board itself, a question on ghost sharks, and a question. Right now, you got a question.
But not the actual movie. All my stuff was pertaining to the actual movie.
So does this. Know. The Ouija shark is a spirit animal that was bound to the Ouija board. Ouija board trivia. Ouija board's in the movie and the title. Ghost shark spirit animal is in the fucking movie. This is all tied to the movie.
But it's not from the actual movie. How am I supposed to know?
Jasmine.
I don't look up spirit animals up in my internet browser.
That's the point. Hey, Jasmine. Okay, let me give you some trivia. What fucking park was this filmed in? You don't know? Imagine that. There's no information for me to make trivia based off of the movie itself. Jasmine, what kind of car were they washing? As if anybody listening to this would ever care about that sort of trivia. I tried to pick things that were related to the movie, that were somewhat interesting, that someone might not already know.
I have no idea.
The correct answer is witches. The only form of smoky, translucent spirit animals that are also malevolent that would want to cause you harm that I could find were familiars from European folklore that typically assisted witches in their dark deeds.
In their dark deeds?
Jasmine, we see the protagonist. You want to nitpick this question too? We see the protagonist shoot her shotgun at the Ouija shark. With interesting results. What TV show popularized the idea of projectiles as a way to combat ghosts, and what were the projectiles made of?
What?
We see the protagonist shoot her shotgun at the Ouija shark with interesting results. It is a ghost shark, and it appears that the shark is somewhat adverse to the idea of being shot by a physical gun, whereas normally ghosts wouldn't fear a shotgun. However, the ghost shark did to some extent. So knowing that, this TV show popularized the use of projectile weapons as a means of repelling or hurting ghosts. And to do so, they used a specific type of projectile for this to work that is in fact based on other cultures.
Holy water?
No, but that's a really good guess. Do you want another guess?
Crosses?
No, the show didn't shoot crosses out of a shotgun. That sounds like an anime.
Silver bullets?
Very good guess. The correct answer is salt, Jasmine. Salt. And the TV show that made this popular was Supernatural. So this is likely inspired by the way it's used in Wiccan cultures, but also notable that salt as a purifier dates back to Buddhism, Shintoism, ancient European folklore, and even Egyptian rituals meant to ward off evil spirits as well. The idea of shooting it out of a shotgun, however, was popularized via supernatural. I'm not claiming this is the first instance of it, however. So like the only thing I could think of while she was shooting at the shark with guns is that she's an occult person and somehow has salt on her bullets, and that is keeping the shark at bay.
That's way too much of a stretch.
But also the shark is from saltwater, so I don't know how that works exactly. But maybe that's why we don't have. There's literally you would think in all the history of mankind there would be accounts from sailors or pirates or something of ghost beasts of the ocean. There are not. There's not a single one. I could not find a single thing. Now there's like cryptids and sirens. Sirens are not ghost sharks though. They're not even ghosts.
No, but they could have fins.
If there were aquatic ghosts of some nature, they were the ghosts of sailors or women or witches or something like that. They were never like the ghost of an octopus or the ghost of a crab or nothing like that. So I literally could not find anything in regards to that. I did find a couple of things, but nothing that you think this shit's a stretch. Like that shit was even way more of a stretch. Like, oh, it's a person who fishes for people. That's in no way a shark. All right, Jasmine, here we go.
Last question?
2 more. In the film, it's revealed that the Ouija Shark is a government conspiracy to let loose a bunch of ghost sharks in the world that goes straight to the top, straight to Trump. This isn't the first time the government of a world power has dabbled in the occult. Please note that I said occult and not spirituality, mysticism, or shamanism, which all trace their origins to the cradle of humanity. But specifically, the occult started gaining headway in the 1940s when which government began taking an interest as a means to bolster their ranks and searching for any edge during a brutal war.
Which government?
Which world power of a government took an especial liking to the occult?
You're talking like a president or like...
No, I said government.
Like Republicans? Is that what you mean?
Republican is a political party, not a government. Although I guess you could say the
House
answer...
of Representatives?
A country's government. How about that?
Okay, so you're talking about a country.
Who turned to the occult during a brutal war as a means to bolster their ranks or find other means to gain an advantage in said war. They turned to dark arts.
Germany?
What'd you just say?
Germany?
I'll give it to you. The correct answer is the Nazis. The Nazis are the first government that I can find that actually
2 out of
turned
5
to the occult, like specifically the dark arts, like fucking seriously crazy, whacked out shit. Now other countries in the past before them have absolutely been religious or had mysticism or shamanism or stuff like that. That's not considered the occult. So here's where I'm going with this. This kind of leads into my last question. The United States later took interest, most notably in the 60s and onward, especially in psychics, remote viewing, mediums, etc., which involved this most famous experiment in which the U.S. Army tried to walk through walls and stare at this animal in order to try and make its heart stop and kill it. So I'm tying in the occult, governments, and animals.
Shark?
It is not. I was gonna say it's not a shark. Like they didn't have a lot of access to sharks, but this experiment involved men who sat in chairs and stared at them until they died, or tried to make them die by staring at them. It's been the real, like it actually happened. Then the events were taken and was the inspiration for a popular book, which then eventually turned into a George Clooney movie many years later. That's all the hints I'll give you. Tigers,
lions, bears, oh my?
No, Those animals are very expensive. I don't know if the U.S. government wants to do their experiments on an expensive
Dogs,
animal where they're trying to kill them.
Goldfish?
I'm just gonna say you lost.
I
The
got
correct
two.
answer. Correct
Right.
answer. This also goes back to the occult. The correct answer is goats. Goats. So obviously the efforts failed, or allegedly the efforts failed. But if we want to believe the movie, some measure of success was gained in binding a killer shark ghost to a Ouija board Horcrux, leading to our modern day cult conspiracy. There's one final link I could find in between government conspiracies and sharks. I'm sorry, this was the last question. So, one final link that I could find between government conspiracies and sharks. What was it? This one's going to be impossible. So I'll give you a choice of 3. Okay.
Okay.
Was it A? In Sudan, they found what they thought a shark was killing beachgoers along a river over the course of several weeks, but in reality, it was a homemade sub used to traffic drugs and people, and the people weren't being eaten. They were literally running from the militia there, and they were escaping Underground Railroad style through this homemade sub across up and down the river there in Sudan. Or, so it wasn't a shark, it was actually a submarine. Or is it B, in Florida, there was a series of suspected bull shark attacks along a interior river where it actually was, I don't know, was it a bull shark or a great white shark? I can't remember what kind of shark it was, but the conspiracy here is that the lower income families that live along this river, the property was highly desirable, and the real estate moguls wanted it. So they chummed the waters at night to bring out the bull sharks to then feast upon poor people and their children as they swam in the water, so that eventually they'd be too scared to live there and they would eventually move. And the real estate people can buy all the real estate at cheap prices and then put up like big ass condos and hotels and shit.
Okay.
Or C, an Egyptian television broadcast from a South Sinai governor claimed that Israel captured and placed a mind control device on a shark that led to shark attacks all throughout
Did
Egypt.
you make this all up? Like, except for the one, did you literally just make those up right on the top of your head?
Yes, I did. One of these is real, the rest are not.
So, mine shark, real estate, or submarine?
Correct. One is people fleeing a militia in Sudan along a river. They thought a shark was eating people, but actually it was people disappearing because they were going into the
recap too much.
Oh, okay. The second one was Florida. They were trying to get real estate moguls were baiting sharks to attack people. And then 3, an Egyptian politician claimed that Israel had mind control devices on sharks to attack their people.
I think it's B, because people suck.
Incorrect. The correct answer is an Egyptian television broadcast from a South Sinai governor claimed that Israel captured and placed a mind control device onto a shark that led to the 2010 Sharm el-Sheikh shark attacks that injured several people and killed one in rapid succession along the Red Sea. Actually, the device in question was a GPS monitoring device scientists used to study sharks that had nothing to do with the attacks and were completely unrelated. All right. Trivia time's over.
That was a lot. That was, my brain really hurts. And you always come up with really hard trivia.
But good, fascinating trivia. I hope you learned something today, dear listener.
I was like, how am I supposed to? I'm not like looking up on the internet about like some.
You went to college. You should know more than me. I'll know to make. I'll know that if the questions are going to be too hard, I'll make them multiple choice. So at least you have a shot.
Thank you. I would appreciate that, and I'm sure that our listeners would also appreciate that.
Well, they're not playing, so they're just enjoying your pain.
It could be while they're waiting for me to answer.
Where does this movie rank? We got to rank this movie and get the heck out of here.
Well, we got to start from the 4 subs, the 4 categories.
That's right.
4 or 5.
Eye roll meter. How corny is this fucking movie?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 for you. I think that's going to be a 5 out of 5 for me as well. So 5 for better or worse. Brutality. How brutal was this movie?
2 out of 5.
I think from a certain standpoint, it was brutal in that everybody died except for 2 people. It was not brutal in that because of their limited budget, they were not very, they couldn't be creative. Like people just died and were pulled off screen and they just splashed red liquid in the air or something like that. You didn't really see. Yeah. I mean, you really see a lot. So effects wise, it's a 1, I guess. But from an intent side, it would be a 4 because wait, who's the 3 people that lived? Jill, the police officer,
fortune teller lady.
Oh yeah, I guess she counts. I guess
she's lived.
I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna split the difference and say 3 because you're right.
5?
Yes, because I think it's like a 1 from a.
Give it a 2.5. Give it a 2.5.
Okay, what did you say?
We're gonna give it a 2.5.
Oh, between both of us?
Yes.
Okay.
I would give it
cheesy factor. How cheesy was this movie? Car wash scene, the kids in the woods. I would say the kids running, both of their deaths. I would count that multiple points.
The drugs, the fighting.
What drugs?
When she was high.
I don't know if that was cheesy. Oh, asking the shark if it wants a hit. It's pretty fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a 5 out of 5.
5 fins.
Are we doing fins? Is that what we're doing?
We've always been doing fins. It's always been fins.
Is that it?
I think there was one more, wasn't there?
Was there? There was an overall.
Brutality, cheesy.
Eye roll meter, and then the overall rating.
I thought there was one more, but I can't remember what it is. Forgive us, guys.
Yeah, I think the overall is the 4th one. So the
or it had something to do with the realisticness or something like that. Like
no, that would fall under cheesiness. If it like an example of cheesiness is shark effects look obviously fake, like a shark on a string going across the screen or something is super mega cheesy.
True that. So Brett, what's the overall rating? How many fins did we give it?
I'm calculating.
Calculating, y'all. Do 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 do.
So now hold on. Cheese factor can be either good or bad. Is this a good 5 or a bad 5? Because there's a difference. There's definitely a difference.
I like this movie.
I know you like it.
It's so silly. I think it's silly cheese. I don't know if they meant to be like this silly. Like, I don't know if they meant it to be this way, but I took it as that way. Kind of like how you took House Shark. So okay. You loved House Shark, but you don't like this movie that much. And I like this movie a lot, and I didn't really care for House Shark. So I would watch this movie a second time. I'd be like, hey, you guys want to watch this stupid shark movie? If I had friends over and they wanted to watch a shark movie, I'd say, let's watch this stupid shark movie.
The overall ratings is going to give this 3 fins out of 5.
That's not bad. I would give it 3 fins.
That is the average.
If you want to watch a bad shark movie, well...
Because I'm giving 5 from an eye roll meters is not good. So it's basically like -5 plus 2.5 plus 5.
Yeah.
Technically is like 2.75, but I'm going to round up or around there, and I'm going to round up to 3. So
That's fine. 3 and 5 is not bad.
I think that's fair.
It's almost a C. A C plus, maybe.
We have to drop it into the list of all the movies we've seen, which currently stands as. I'm not going to go over my personal list or your personal list right now. We can do that if we need to, but the list as it stands is number 1, 47 meters down 2, Uncaged. Number 2, The Reef. Number 3, House Shark. Number 4, Santa Jaws. 5, Planet of the Sharks. And number 6, Ice Sharks. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in here. This movie was more enjoyable than Ice Shark, so it's automatically above that.
I want to put it above Santa
Jaws.
Yeah.
I think this movie was better than Santa Jaws, but I like Santa Jaws the Shark better than Ouija Shark the Shark.
But I like the scenes more in this movie than I do the other movie.
I do like the characters in this better than I like the characters in Santa Jaws. The only thing I like more about Santa Jaws is the titular Santa Jaws, the titular Santa Jaws himself, and the fact that it tries to make like a Christmas Carol type story-ish, sort of.
But is it enough to beat?
Well, it doesn't succeed in doing that, really, but no, I think you're
Santa Jaws,
right.
Take Santa Jaws down a notch.
I think you're right. I think this movie has to go above Santa Jaws.
Because I like this movie, so it's in the middle for me. I, in my personal list, would put it high up because I haven't really found another good movie that I particularly like.
All right, well, let's add it to your list. Where on your list would this fall?
I don't even remember what I have on my second slot.
Your second slot is The Reef.
I would put this above The Reef.
But below 47 meters?
Yeah.
Okay.
This movie was so silly. I liked this silly. I liked it a lot. So that's where I stand. The Reef was okay. I mean, it tried to be intense and stuff, but this is silly, and I did smile at a lot of the stuff in this. It wasn't like, oh, this is dumb. I mean, it was kind of like that, but also I really enjoyed it. So it's going to be my number 2 so far.
I think it's going to be my number 4 behind The Reef. So if we want to average that out, that would put it at the 3 mark. So, I mean, that stands as either above House Shark or below House Shark.
I'll give it to you. I'll give House Shark and then Ouija Shark.
I definitely laughed way more in House Shark. I know I'm biased.
You did, but I didn't. So
you laughed more at Ouija Shark than House Shark?
I liked Ouija Shark more than House Shark. You keep asking me this, and I keep telling you.
Okay, I just don't understand it. Like, definitely the acting's better. The acting's way better in House Shark. The production values are better in House Shark.
I'm giving it to you. House Shark is better than this one, but I like this one more. So.
Well, your opinion is just as valid as mine. So what we need to do is flip a coin.
No, I'm telling you what I want it to be. I want it to be a House Shark, and then I want it to be Ouija Shark.
Fine, I was willing. Okay. All right. Well, I tried to compromise, and you refused.
Yeah. Well, it's above Santa Jaws.
So the list at the end of season 1 of Jawsbreakers goes: number 1, 47 meters down, 2, Uncaged. Number 2, The Reef. 3, House Shark. 4, Ouija Shark. 5, Santa Jaws. 6, Planet of the Sharks. And 7, Ice Sharks. That is your undisputable list of best shark movies ever in the world. And if it's not on this list, it doesn't count. So stay tuned to the channel because we will let you know when the next one is going to be. You can follow me at Breaker Streams on twitch.tv. You can also check out my other show, Pokemon After Dark Rye, a No Holds Barred, No Nothing podcast. We talk about Pokemon Hearts, the ones we love. And Jasmine?
You can check me out at Meteor Doll on Twitch, as well as my YouTube channel, which has basically nothing. But if you do want to get a hold of me, Twitch is probably the best way to go. I stream at least twice to 3 times a week.
Yeah, check her schedule. Also follow us on Twitter at the Pod Dog or at After Dark Rye or on Instagram at Instapod Dog. All links for everything will be in the description below. So thanks so much for listening. Jasmine, do you wanna sing us out with a song? You want me to do it?
Yeah, you go ahead. You know I'm not the best at singing. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We appreciate you. Please just know that you need to smile, you son of a bitch.
Smile, you son of a bitch. You got so high pitched there that your microphone cut out.
Smile, you son of a bitch. Is that better?
Don't forget to smile, you son of a bitch. Oh, we did good on that. We did good.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.